MetLife Stadium. It's Chelsea kicking off, having beaten Palmeiras in Philadelphia by 2-1 in the quarterfinal.
Wow, what a game, João Pedro. That's the name they call him, João Pedro. Amazing player at the time. He's 23. Signed from Brighton Hove Albion, now a Chelsea player. When you watch the FIFA Club World Cup, you understand that some teams like Chelsea side happens to be the team that people don't believe that they can get to the top phase or to the next level. That's the best word. But when I saw that game yesterday, I asked myself a question. I said, what a player. He was emotional. He said, I'm sorry to the fans. He said, I know I'm playing against my boyhood club for Menace, and I know that they are very good side. That made me who I am today. That's the reason why I play for Chelsea. But, you know, the message from Enzo Maresca is clear. I brought in João Pedro because he knows the game. He's ruthless right in front of goal. So, looking at the FIFA Club World Cup game, let's talk about that one in a bit. Chelsea, congratulations, being to the final. They'll play either Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain on Sunday. Now, the deal is up. Pressure for Nicholas Jackson, big pressure for, Liam Delap. The manager has come to say, I love João Pedro because he can play anywhere up front. No pressure on this very man. He can play from the right, he can play from the left, he can play wide, he can play inside. But for me, Nicholas Jackson is a player that I can say Jackson is just a number 9. That's about Enzo Maresca. Yesterday, I would say, if you ask me about the gameplay yesterday, I'll tell you, Chelsea, what happened in that game was Liam Delap, Nicholas Jackson opened that space, that vacuum for that Brazilian to come in and show the manager, yes, you have to believe in me. I'm a new signing. I can score goals. The Brazilians know me well. I would have to do well. And when he scored, they said, I'm sorry. Now, look how ruthless. Now, let Chelsea. And Chelsea now would have to play either Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain. But I must say on the show this day, congratulations to every South American side that came to this tournament. But I must say, big shout out to the Brazilian side, Botafogo, Palmeiras, Flamengo, Fluminense. They were so exceptional. Nobody believed in them. But you know what? They see the FIFA Club World Cup as a final. They don't even know about if it's a Premier League or big side in the European scene. They just want to get the result right. But for Arias, Reines, Cano, Thiago Silva, I'm so sorry for that club side. They went as far as the semi-final and they are now off. But for Chelsea, who knows what's next if Chelsea will be getting the job done. They look like the main team, but after analysis said Chelsea will win this one. If not Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain. But for Paris Saint-Germain, don't forget, it's a very big game coming up. And I must tell you, they have something to deal with. Because right now, there will not be William Pacho, who is an integral part of that team. So William Pacho will be out for the game against Real Madrid. And also, Lucas Hernandez, who possibly should have replaced him, is also red-carded. In other words, we might be seeing Marquinhos pairing with Beraldo. So it might be working that way. Achraf Hakimi to the right, Mendes to the left, João Neves, Fabian Ruiz, and also Vitinha in the midfield. We could see Ousmane Dembele getting a start, Desiree Doué, and then you could have Akavicha Kvaratskhelia. So that's how it is. But Chelsea on the show today, I must say congratulations to every Chelsea fan all over the world for that result, that job done. My name is Kizike, and I welcome you to the Sports Republic show right here, the best place to be at all time, Voice of the People TV, where we tell you we have more than a voice, and that's why you're here to join me on the show. But let's start with the news. I will tell you about the South African news about the 3-point deduction. There's the news out there, and South African boss Hugo Broos is not happy with the way it's going, and they are saying, yes, we have to deal with this one, and who's like the favorite in the very group is the Nigerian side. But let's talk about the CHAN 2025, where a total of 26 players are now at the Super Eagles camp in the Kenya, Ogun State, as the team intensifies preparation for the 8th African Nations Championship CHAN 2025. The news agency of Nigeria reports that head coach Eric Chow had released 35-man provisional list for the Super Eagles B ahead of the championship. The CHAN tournament, which is exclusively to players competing in the domestic league, will be hosted in August by Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. That's like a show for me. Can I tell you, no fewer than 21 early birds had arrived at the camp on Monday and participated in the team force training session in the evening under the floodlights. Super Eagles media officer Promise Foge confirmed to NAN that the CHAN Eagles camp swelled to 26 players on Tuesday in the Kenya, Ogun State, with 5 more players participating in the team's second training session. Moving on, the media officer, according to him, said 5 more players arrived at the team's camp today. That's for Tuesday, he said yesterday. A total of 26 players trained on Tuesday evening. The players include the likes of Musa Zayan of El Kaneme Warriors, Aminu Adam Kano Pillars, Anas Yusuf Nazara United, Godwin Obaje from Rivers United, Kabiru Mohammed from Kwara United. Nigeria Challenge runners-up in the 2018 are placed in the Group D of the 19th nation competition. They are grouped alongside title holders Senegal as well as Sudan and Congo. The Super Eagles will face Senegal and Sudan at the Amman Stadium located at Zanzibar, Ireland. Their final group game against Congo will be played at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium, Dar es Salaam, and that's reporting from the NAN. You can see the news agency. Now, for the Chad team, let me talk about them in a bit before we get to some news. Eric Chell. I like Eric Chell. Should I use the word love? I don't need to think about the word, but I think Eric Chell still has to do more. He has to do more. He has to do more. That's the word. I don't want to give him all of the hype and all of the praise. And like Eric Chell is, he's a good coach. He's a good gaffer. I feel like he's just on the level that we are currently at this point in time. We know Nigerian side are the very biggest side, but if you ask me a question, we need a manager of this class because I think he goes down to the grassroots. He knows the nitty-gritty of the game. He goes down to bring out the best players. And like I already said yesterday on the show, which was Tuesday, I said it would be a very great news that a lot of those players who happen to be in the Chan team integrated in the national team gives them that edge to know that our players that plies their trade in our league, the MPFL, are surplus to requirement. They can just make it to the national team. Regardless of what club you play, it doesn't matter if you're from Remo Stars, Kwara United, Aimba, Ikoro the City, any of the club side, just bring it on, let the best be selected. So this one from the Chan team, if you ask me, I'll tell you, I feel like we're favourites in this very well because I looked at the team, but I feel like I'm just scared of Senegal. Yeah, I'm scared of the Senegal side. But for some people asking a question about what's making up the Chan team, the Chan team is where we go around the Nigerian Chels, club size, and pick the best players. Already we have 35-man squad. So they are called the Chan side, they're called the Super Eagles B, that's what it is. They are not the main Super Eagles squad. So if you apply your trade abroad, you cannot play, you can be played in that league. You can only play in that league when you apply your trade in the Nigerian Football League. That's Nigeria Premier Football League from the code right now called Nigeria Professional Football League. So it's an avenue for young lads to show themselves to the world, to show themselves to Africa, show themselves to the manager, put that up on the managers, let him know that, yes, I'm the right man for the job. Get me involved. I want to be part. I said it all the time, like when we saw the last time we clinching the Nations Cup, it was not just mere, it wasn't just about players who play and trade abroad. We had a combination of players who was playing in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Now it's also the coach. I keep saying the Premier League, but not Premier League anymore, Professional Football League right now. It's about the coach who is involved. Then it was Stephen Kesha, blessed memory. But now we have Eric Chell, and I'm happy. So if we look at it, normally most time our coaches like to leave that job for their second coach, like assistant coach. But I like the way Eric Chell is paying attention. Maybe if not for the FIFA Club World Cup, we saw him, put out his eyes on the game to watch some of the Nigerian players who were involved. Sanusi didn't get a start, like Oguchi also was in that one. Oguchi, that's the name. Now, I must say this. I like the cooking, but I don't know how well it will be done. That's them. That's the players you have on your screen. Training time in a Kenneth, going around. They are players that we can look out and pick. See, some of them have already had tested, the Super Eagles game. The likes of Ismaila, Sadiq of Remo Stars, Sikira Limi also was involved in the GTEC community game, the Unity Cup. So Isaac Xavier also in that team, Papa Mustafa Daniel in that team. So they know, you can see Eric Chell giving instructions to them. Floodlight training yesterday. Great time with the boys, 26 players in camp. Then at the end of the day, we have to see that 35-man squad. But definitely, one thing is certain, it would be cut down. And then Eric Chell will now decide who will be making a call. So I want to say, let the best be known on this. So that's Eric Chell. You can see him. That's the gaffer. He's got time for the boys. He likes the boys. He wants to make sure that these boys integrated in the national team. Because when you hear him say that, he said, I am here to go down the game. Now, it's so nice and so great that our coach now sees our games. One of the problems Nigerian Football Federation had with our former coach back in 2018 was Gernot Rohr, the German man who was the longest foreign coach that served the national team. The problem we had then was that he said, I can be based in Abuja. I won't be staying in Abuja. I want to stay away. When the game is right, I'll come and watch the boys and coach them. Now, if you do that, it means that, I think he did a lot of that where we had some of our coaches, his assistants from Nigerian shows, seeing our MPFL games. Now, looking at not Eric Chelsea, looking at Kenneth Trust's time, how many of the young lads were in that team? I like him. I know it was Simon, the likes of Osimhen, they integrated to the national team during this tenure. But we want to see this happen oftentimes. Let these young ones believe that I don't need to play abroad. I don't need to go to Europe to be part of the national team. You know, I say it like the Brazilian team. You saw the FIFA Club World Cup. Now, Flamengo, Palmeiras, Botafogo, Fluminense, they played yesterday. A lot of clubs like Santos, that's the national team that say there's a space for the young lads. There's a space for those who play in the league football. That's how I want Nigeria to be. Because if you don't do that, your domestic league, then you're not giving it all of the hype it deserves. So the ultimatum is like, you must play abroad. That's the reason why we see our players. Most of them travel to Tanzania. Just want to go out. Okay, now go to Europe. I'm saying to play to my Latvia, so my Slovenia. I'm not saying this club size, this countryside are not good enough, but they are not tough like football. Latvia, you're going to, I said the other time, Oman, and you want us, it's not their fault because they know that when they are playing in the league, no one is seeing them. So regardless of how much you play or how good you can be, it doesn't feel like you're the next big thing. But let's talk about some transfer news. While Victor Osimhen news is still out, let's talk about one man who turned down the Super Eagles job. He's still young, Atubolo. Serie A champions right now. Napoli are very busy on the summer transfer market and have now set their sight on Freiburg goalkeeper. He is a Nigerian, born in Germany. That's the man we have, Freiburg goalkeeper, who is one of the potential players listed by Super Eagles Eric Chell. But this man is saying, I don't want to do the job for Nigeria. I feel that's new time for me because Manuel Neuer will be retiring anytime soon. Ter Stegen will be retiring. All of the goalkeepers in Germany look quite old. I'm the youngest. So he believes that he will man the post for the Germans someday. But top transfer expert Gianluca Di Marzio of Sky Sports has reported that Napoli have already contacted a representative of the young goalkeeper. Possible attempt for a new goalkeeper by Napoli. The Azzurri would like a reliable second goalkeeper. A new name is that of Noah Atubolo from Freiburg. He cost around 18 million euros. Now, that's the reporting saying that he's young, he's got good prospects, he's got versatility in right in the post, he knows the game well. You know, Freiburg #1, but they have been in contact with the players' entourage. While we talk about Napoli, we have to talk about Victor Osimhen. He said to quit Italian champions why they are also interested in signing fellow Super Eagles star Ademola Lookman from Atalanta. I'm so sorry to share this with you. I don't think Victor Osimhen, I'm just saying my opinion, don't get me wrong. I don't know if Victor Osimhen would get a club side for himself, if not Galatasaray. Report says now that Galatasaray seems to be the only club side close to getting Victor Osimhen. So they will have to, trigger. Al Hilal are also interested, but Victor Osimhen cannot imagine himself going off the European scene. Turkey, or the Turkish side I want to call it, was like, let me manage the side. But as it stands now, the pressure is on Osimhen. I don't know what's his fate for now. That's the point. He's unwanted in Napoli. They don't want him anymore. They've shown that they can do without him. They won the Scudetto without him. They did well with Lobotka, Lukaku, Neres, McTominay, and Gisa Zambo. They also have a new man, Kevin De Bruyne. They have Billings in the team, Di Lorenzo. They have got quality team. So they feel we are good enough without the man on the mask. So it means that Victor Osimhen just might, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be a late transfer. Because Chelsea's out of it. Chelsea's got João Pedro. Chelsea's got Nicholas Jackson. They've got Liam Delap. Man United is not an option because no tough life football for them. Just the Premier League, another league football. What club again is free? Paris Saint-Germain. Rala Colomani was staying with Juventus. Gonzalo Ramos' fate is looking uncertain. They don't look like they want Victor Osimhen or Luis Enrique. I'm just doing some of the options to talks. Liverpool, a club side that just might be getting him on the deadline day. I don't know, because right now Darwin Núñez is so much wanted in Napoli. Will he be a starter? He won't only bring depth if you ask me, because Lukaku will be the man. So I'm concerned about my own Nigerian player. I'm trying to be sentimental in a bit. Victor Osimhen I don't know what's next for Victor. But we wish him the best. That's the best word. He knows the best. I think his entourage, his representative, those who are in charge of Victor, I'm just going to keep it on the mute side. Let me not say so much about Victor Osimhen, so it doesn't sound like, let's just keep it on the sideline. Now, let's talk about Super Eagles. More news transfer away before we talk about the South African man. AC Milan is reportedly keen on strengthening the attacking lineup by bringing in the Nigerian international striker. Victor Boniface potentially creating an exciting all-Super Eagles partnership with current Rossoneri winger Samuel Chukwueze. According to reports in Italy, Boniface has emerged as a key target as Milan assesses their striking option, rather, I could say, for the 25-26 season. Initial contact has already been made with Bayer Leverkusen for the 24-year-old Boniface, who was instrumental in Leverkusen's historic Bundesliga title in 23-24 season with 14 goals. Saw his playing time limited to 19 league appearances last time due to injuries, though he still managed to net 8 goals. This inconsistent availability, coupled with the emergence of Patrick Schick as Leverkusen primary striker, means Milan could potentially secure their service for a reduced fee of around 30 million euro. That's approximately, you could say, 25 million pounds, 33 million US dollar. And that's a big drop from his previous valuation of over 50 million euros. This reduced price tag and potentially lower salary expectations make Boniface a more financially viable option for Milan compared to other targets, such as Juventus' Dusan Vlahovic, whose financial demand could complicate a move. AC Milan is expected to continue negotiations with Leverkusen as they work to finalize their new number 9 ahead of the campaign. The prospect of Victor Boniface joining Samuel Chukwueze at the San Siro is generating buzz among Nigerian football fans. Samuel Chukwueze, who joined AC Milan in July 2023, is a familiar face to Boniface from their time together in the Super Eagles squad. Indeed, AC Milan captain Rafael Leao has reportedly consulted Chukwueze about Boniface's playing style ahead of a UEFA Champions League clash last season, indicating an exciting existing awareness of Boniface's quality within the Milan camp. While Samuel Chukwueze's own future at the Milan has faced a lot of scrutiny, the potential arrival of another compatriot could provide a boost for both players. If the move materializes, it will unite two of Nigeria's most exciting attacking talent. Can I talk about this in a bit? Yes, I should. I want to talk about this. Boniface, like they call him the skit maker, no disrespect, I'm just messing around. Boniface, the name is Boniface, we know him. I think he's never struggled when he plays on the European scene. That's the truth. Boniface is prolific right in front of goals. He's got that ball holding. He gets himself in space. He can set the ball out for players like, Rafael Leao, just maybe. Alvaro Morata is of the club. They need a number 9. I'm not saying he's going to be the starter, but Erik ten Hag, the new manager of Bayer Leverkusen, said, I want you to be in my plans. I know how he felt when Al Nassr called him. He's 24. So why are you rushing him to play the game? Like, I think AC Milan is the perfect fit for him. Not a bad club. But if the manager is having faith in you, like Erik ten Hag, the Dutchman, saying, you are in my plans. I can play 2 men up front. You can play with Patrick Schick. Then that works. So his news in the Nigerian shows is different from what we're talking about now. He's a Super Eagles player. I don't know if Erichel will want to give him a call up again because lately he's not lived up his game with the Super Eagles. And he plays a lot. The other time he said, I don't hang boots. You saw that post. It got Nigerians talking, mouths waggling, eyebrows raised. Now that went off. And you cannot afford to say that when you just played a game and played so poorly. You didn't pay the price and you put up a post on social media. You know how big you are via the influential world. I said it again and I will say, if Boniface was a skin maker, I don't know if he's going to be in the near future. He's got a lot of content for himself. But the AC Milan talk happens to be evergreen. Samuel Chukwueze, if you ask me, I would say, please leave AC Milan. The club does not suit you. You know why? He's worked under 3 different managers. Now Massimo Allegri is at the club. He's not, unless the manager will pay faith in him and say, yes, you are in my plans. But if you ask me being in Nigeria, and I'm going to tell you, Samuel Chukwueze needs to leave. He needs to go to a club side that will give him playing time. Erichel said, I want to use Chukwueze and play like my number 10. It can work. But we have to see that. We have to see you play constant football. I think the talk should be for Eric Chow. If you are not playing constant football, you should not be called to the national team. There's no room for that. There's no way you can be part of the national team and you tell me I'm playing. That's one of the problems. I'm playing for one club side. That's one of the problems we are facing. We face that a lot of time. Iguava did that a lot. Technically, he did it a lot. When you get invitation, you bring in players who are not supposed to be in the team. And it questions to say who and what is the criteria for selection in the national team. But Eric Chow said anyone who does not run should not be called. It's a big word. Ironically, you need to keep playing all of the games. Now, let's talk about Super Eagles star Ahmed Musa refutes claims of car gifts to Kano Pillars squad after the general manager appointment. In a statement on Tuesday, Ahmed Musa described the allegation as entirely untrue and urged the public media outlets and social media users to verify information from credible sources before sharing their news. Okay, Super Eagles captain and newly appointed general manager of Kano Pillars, or Kano Pillars Football Club, that's the full word, Ahmed Musa has denied reports claiming he distributed cars to players and officials following his recent appointment. In the statement on Tuesday, Ahmed Musa described the allegation as entirely untrue and urged the public, media and outlets to also please make sure you verify well before you post out, because the world is like a social media town, 21st century. Now, that's Ahmed Musa. He looks nice in that picture, actually. Now, he looks nice in that image. That's the general manager's position. Well, I think he's just gradually going into politics. But I would like him to go into the political football way, if there's a word like that. I don't think I like politics involved in football, but this is like Kano State, giving him, everything is deserved. This is like a player who has played in the league, came back again, went again, returned back, and wants to give back to the side. If you look at the sports complex in Kano, you know how big Ahmed Musa is. You know that he loves the game. He looks very simple. The only problem I have with Ahmed Musa is that he's still our captain. I like him. I think he eats well. He lives well. You might not understand. He's got 4 wives. That's from the traditional side, the religion side. But he lives well. A player of his age, look how athletic and how energetic he is. So I think good life from the northern man, Ahmed Musa, Super Eagles captain. Now let's talk about South Africa quickly before we go on a break and bring you more news about the Wimbledon 2025. What's really going on in the world of tennis? Now, the head coach of the senior national team of South Africa, Hugo Broos, isn't bothered by the impending 3-point deduction from the World Football Governing Board, the FIFA, after fielding in an ineligible player in the World Cup qualifier. His name is Teboho Mokoena. South Africa fielded Teboho Mokoena, who was supposed to be suspended for the tournament win over Lesotho after picking up 2 previous bookings, an act which is usually punished with a 3-point and 3 goals deduction. Reports in South Africa say FIFA have already contacted the Football Association of South Africa, SAFA, on the issue of fielding in an ineligible player and will pass their judgment before the next round of games in the qualifiers, which is in September. Now, from the Nigerian perspective, our talk says we cannot wait. Teboho Mokoena plays for Mamelodi Sundowns. We saw him at the Club World Cup. It was amazing to watch. Yes, with a yellow card, he had to omit some of the games. But South Africa, which way? They know that that game is a very big one. So they're like the favorites in the group. So one of the rivals happens to be Nigeria. So we are already doing the permutation. So will that point be deducted? Yes, it will be. Because it's see, there's no emotion on this. There's no explanation on this. Unless the FIFA world will have to go the other way. Patrice Motsepe, I'm so sure he would not want to dent what is built within a short period of time. Patrice Motsepe is a CAF president. He is a South African. So if that point is deducted, no, not if. When I say if, it sounds like it would not be done. When that point is deducted, possibly before the next game, we play them in September, and we travel to South Africa. So now the point deducted, the point should not be awarded to Nigeria, but rather Lesotho, right? Lesotho initially did not file a complaint at first. I don't know if it's about the connection they have, but Nigeria fans, we took it up. We started making case because we know Seydou Sanusi, not Seydou Sanusi, what's the name? Abdullahi Shehu, I recall back in time, some years back, was fine that way when we made that mistake. But South Africans would never forgive themselves. Hugo Broos would not sleep after what happened. How do you go from there fielding in a player who has been yellow carded? Now, the only fear I have for that Nigeria game against South Africa is the connection of the Mamelodi Sundowns. They got Orlando Pirates, they got Kaizer Chiefs, the Chiefs side, they got Chipa United, they got club side. They can, in the PSL, that's the word. They are very compacted. But when you watch the Club World Cup, many of them play in the South African national team, and that's a boost because you're playing against a club side indirectly. Kekana, you're talking about the Boho Mokoena, you're talking about Kengana. So they have a very, Maludu, they got a quality team, they are good to go, they can strike you from anywhere. So if Nigerians are believing that it's all about South Africa, then I'm sorry. Take the games bit by bit. Everyone says we'll win all of our games and it was 6 matches, but look how far it is now. Time will tell. But we'll go on a quick break. When we return, the show continues, but we'll leave you not just like that. We should leave you with the FIFA Club World Cup where Chelsea damaged Fluminense right at the MetLife Stadium. And possibly the interview from Enzo Maresca alongside who? João Pedro. They said a lot. We'll be back shortly. Keep watching Voice of the People TV, the Sports Public Show. My name is Kizzy K. We'll be back just shortly. Don't go anywhere.
World Cup semi-final underway here at MetLife Stadium. It's Chelsea kicking off, having beaten Palmeiras in Philadelphia by 2-1 in the quarter-final.
Yes, welcome back from that quick break. Let's talk about tennis world. The Wimbledon 2025, Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic shocked the tennis world when they formed an unlikely partnership which came to an end in May. Djokovic thanked Murray for their time together after the coaching split, which arrived just before the French Open. The two ATP legends decided to work with one another before the Australian Open, where Djokovic reached the semifinal before retiring hot. He reached the same stage of the French Open before losing to world number 1 Jannik Sinner. With Djokovic now into the quarterfinal of Wimbledon, the Serbian takes on another Italian in Flavio Cobolli next as he continues his bid to win an 8th Wimbledon title and 24th Grand Slam title. And Murray says if he regrets coaching Novak Djokovic, what do you think he was going to say? He said, meanwhile, Murray will be honored with the Wimbledon statue, having won the Grand Slam twice during his career. And the Scot has now shared insight into his coaching stint, with Djokovic speaking during a golf challenge with his brother Jamie Murray, golfer Ian Poulter, and his son Luke Poulter, discussing if he enjoyed coaching Andy Murray. Said, the postman, initially I did. I think I will enjoy it more in the future. It was a good opportunity for me. I was not planning on going into coaching because I wanted to be at home. But it was also a pretty unique opportunity to go on and do what I needed to do with him and spend time around him and try to learn from him in a bit. If I said so now, I wouldn't have to get the chance in a couple of years. He might be finished, so I'm glad I did it, but I didn't love it. I wouldn't go back into doing that again. That's about Andy Murray. Now, Andy Murray's response when asked why he didn't love coaching Novak Djokovic, he said he's not regretting it. Murray made a very quick transition into coaching, agreeing to link up with Djokovic in November, having only retired in August. They went from fierce rivals to partners, with Murray enjoying the surprise and ultimately brief spell as Djokovic coach. Asked why he didn't love it, he replied, the thing that I was different, and when I was playing there, I didn't appreciate as much as how much the team does. And that's about Andy Murray. Now, quickly, he said again, so I enjoyed learning from that side, the things that I needed to do and communicating. His team are also different, coming from a different backgrounds. Now, let's still talk more in the world of tennis and talk about world number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, how to grind out a tough win over number 104 Laurel Sigmund Fries, closing to the victory, settling up the semifinal against Carlos Alcaraz. There will be no better preparation for winning the Grand Slam tournament than playing wildly, determined the 37-year-old doubles aficionado with a special place in her heart for that slice. Except perhaps facing a British darling on centre court at the Wimbledon in front of a crowd so loud that it rivaled those at the Morris game. Now, quickly going off that one, let's tell you more. On the show, Sabalenka already had triumphed in the rowdiest match of the tournament with the crowd against her. She managed a third round win against mega favorites Brit-M Raducanu on centre court last week. Siegemund presented the center and a different type of challenge. Sabalenka was also down to a break twice in the third set and looked exasperated at times throughout the nature of a Siegemund's game, and it mattered. Now, going off the news, let's talk about Aryna Sabalenka wrapping up. She gave Sabalenka low cotton slices, and then now she's moved on. Can we talk about the world of Formula One? In the world of Formula One, Nico Hülkenberg finishes third at Silverstone for Kick Soper to score his maiden Formula One podium of the 239th time, that's 239th time, of asking for a driver 1 month short of his 38th birthday. It was an incredible result, not least because it was achieved from 19th of the grid. The German made his Formula One debut all the way back in 2010, and his career with the sports looked to be over when the set was without a seat on the conclusion of 2019 season. But after 2 years of the sidelines, bar of a handful of superb sub appearances, Hülkenberg was handed a lifeline to return to Formula One in 2022, where it has, and since then, has put a string of strong performances. You only have to look at the last handful, and he's been great to watch. Talking about that man, Hülkenberg. All of those who don't know him, he's very prolific in what he does, and he knows how to go on the race game. Max Verstappen also was swift to go over Hülkenberg in the Mach Fem and shake his hand before saying afterward that the race wasn't that enjoyable for me. That's about Max Verstappen. Wrapping up on the show, Oscar Piastri shared the podium with Hülkenberg, and while the Australian was another left disappointed with their own result, seeing the super driver celebration at least tempered Piastri's own frustration. Well, now, leaving that Formula One, let's talk about the boxing world. Last week, Fury, a former two-time heavyweight world champion, reversed his retirement decision and declared he would return to 26 to target a trilogy fight with Alexander Usyk. Ipswich Wadley, now the WBA interim title list, has a professional interest in development at the top end of the heavyweight division, but he retains a dose of skepticism when it comes to Fury's latest U-turn. With the former world champion having announced his retirement on multiple occasions, never know what to believe with him. That's about Wiley telling reports. He said, I never know what to believe because I would not be surprised if next week he says, you know what? I can't be bothered. I'm retired again. I'll believe it when maybe we are wrecked. So we are waiting to know if Alexander Usyk will be having a fight with Tyson Fury. So it's a very big one coming up, and everyone is anticipating to know if he will be retiring again. He expects Usyk to be the undisputed champion once again after he faces London Daniel Dubois in a rematch later this month. And he said, I find it very hard to bet against him. I do 9 times out of 10 back on the Brit. I always want to see a Brit win. I always want to see the belt come way back home to the sun. But the form he is in, the way he goes about his work, he just seems to be undeniable at the moment. He is some sort of mission that just wants to be stopped and won't be derailed. So one way or the other, I think he always would find a way. Okay, so this is where we have to wrap up because we need to bring you some of those clips about the FIFA Club World Cup. Those games played yesterday. Some of those highlights about Chelsea getting the job done against Lemonese. We have to wait to know who comes to play next. Would it be Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain? Time will tell. But Chelsea, they are in the final, waiting for any of the sides to come to play. For Paris Saint-Germain, big blow with Pacho, Lucas Hernandez out. Maybe Bernardo comes in. For Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappe returns. That's the boost for the team. Thank you so much for being part of the Sports Republic show. I remain your host. My name is Kizzy K, the only football player without a jersey. We're not leaving you just that way. We'll leave you with those highlights about the game played yesterday. Please enjoy more. Don't go anywhere.
I told you I want that you focus on your technical skill. Okay? You go on the left, the same. Go. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Play to 1-2. 1-2. Go. Go. Do you understand? Stay focused, guys. Goalkeeper. Wow. Go. Come. Come. Okay. Okay, so deep. Okay, Shola, 1-2. Best. Do the best. Okay. Okay. Guys. Don't lose the ball.
Joao, your first start.